All right, real quick reporting from study session. The City Council voted 5-0 to start a search for the Community Development Director and the Public Works Director. The positions will remain open until filled. All righty. At this point, let me just get the... All right, today is October the 19th, 2016. The time is 7:10. I'd like to open up the Ballpark City Council. That's the only one. We don't have the other.
Mayor, we do have
the finance
and
the Housing Authority. We'll open up those concurrently. So at this point, I'm going to have Councilmember, Pastor Jackson's back in the back, lead us in an invocation followed by the flag salute. So all those that are able to stand to, please do so. Thank you.
Also asking you fire department and those that in the asking you, Lord God, our city council, their mind, how to run this for our city.
Amen. Thank you. At this point, we'll face the flag. Place your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Got my jacket. All right, at this point, I will ask our City Treasurer, Maria Contreras, to lead us in a roll call. Oh, excuse me, roll call, that's right. Thank you. All right, thank you very much, Ms. Dowley, as well, our City Treasurer.
I'll lead you.
And
Good
City
evening,
Clerk.
everyone.
Good evening.
Councilmember Chris Baca.
Here.
Councilmember Susan Rubio.
Present.
Councilmember Ricardo Pacheco. He just stepped out. Mayor Pro Tem Monica Garcia.
Here.
Mayor Manuel Lozano.
Present. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. All right, council members have anything they wish to share?
I'd like to
Councilmember Cruz
close,
Baca?
yes, in the memory of Dolores Lola Hernandez, a longtime resident of Baldwin Park. She passed away a few days ago. Her son, Mike, went to school with me, graduated from Baldwin Park High School. So condolences to the family and to everyone within the residents and the neighbors that knew her. Very nice lady, always very active at the church. So our condolences go out to the family.
Thank you very much. Thank you for mentioning that. All right, at this point, no further announcements. I will go to the first presentation of proclamation recognizing October as Breast Cancer Month. Do we have the proclamation? We don't have a proclamation? No, they weren't able to be. Oh, they weren't? Okay. So we'll have a, all right, we'll have, since it's October, we'll have Vice Mayor Monica Garcia just read that for us, since it's a very important cause.
Okay. So the Baldwin Park City Council adopts this proclamation for National Breast Cancer Awareness Month, October 2016, whereas October 2016 is National Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and we honor all those who lost their lives to breast cancer and recognize the brave survivors who are still fighting the disease. And whereas every year too many Americans are touched by the pain and hardship caused by breast cancer, hundreds of thousands of Americans will be diagnosed and tens of thousands will lose their battle with this disease. And whereas critical research efforts over the years have yielded great progress in how breast cancer is diagnosed and treated, which has produced a steady increase in survival rates. And whereas we stand in solidarity and proudly display across America the bold pink ribbons to confirm our support and commitment to raising awareness of this disease. And whereas we give thanks to the medical professionals, countless advocates, researchers, and caregivers who dedicate their lives to fighting for a world without breast cancer. Now, therefore, Manuel Lozano, Mayor of the City of Baldwin Park, along with Mayor Pro Tem and council members, City Treasurer and City Clerk do hereby proclaim October 2016 as National Breast Cancer Awareness Month and urge our residents to recognize and assist all those that put together fundraisers and serve the needs of every American that suffers from this disease to help eliminate breast cancer from our community, state, and nation.
All right, thank you very much. So we'll go ahead and hold that and present it to the individuals at a later time. I'm going to skip all the way to the bottom. We're going to go into the oath of office for appointed Recreation and Community Services Commissioner Jesus Emmanuel Rodriguez. Is he here tonight? Oh, okay. Come on up here. Go ahead and do that. Want to bring your wife? Let's go ahead and do the presentation here. Thank you.
You'll have fun.
Okay. I'm going to repeat them. I'm just going to. So, without my glasses. No. Ain't going to happen. Okay. Put your right hand over. Hold on. Back right? The left. Yeah. Raise up your right hand. Okay, just repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Jesus Rodriguez,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I would support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the State of California,
to the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
and that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
upon which I am about to enter.
about which I am upon.
All right, congratulations.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Felicidades.
Thank you.
Come back here. All right, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sé que nos habíamos visto otras veces.
Mucho gusto. Y felicidades. Nos vamos a ver mucho en dos diferentes
I'll
eventos.
sit in my chair. I think that one's yours. Thank you very much, Jesus, and his wife. Also, her dad passed away just a couple of months ago as well, and we closed on his behalf at the last meeting. Thank you very much. So now you're official commissioner for the Park and Recs. Thank you very much. So we look forward in working with you. Gracias. Thank you. All right. So at this point, we're going to go ahead and go into the next items that we have here. Is the presentation by Javier Aguilar, representing Southern California Association of Governments regarding the GIS internship pilot program. So is the gentleman here? Oh, how are you? Two guests. Come on up. You know what? I think the mic's on. You know, I could barely hear you. Is it on? All right, sorry about that. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much
Perfect.
and good evening. Thank you very much for participating in the Southern California GIS Services Program. Basically, we're having a program to improve local and regional planning process to assist the SCAG RTP SCS to collect land use information and to use GIS technology to share data, standardize data, and update data. And over the past few years, we've provided the city with some hardware, some software, spatial data, and GIS training. And recently, in the past few months, we've introduced Maria Rodriguez,
Pleasure.
who is working here at City Hall, working on different projects, doing a geodatabase, also helping putting into GIS pavement management systems, city bus route mapping and bus shelters and radius maps, and helping with data verification for Caltrans. So I want to turn it over to Maria to introduce you to her and to talk a little bit about her projects here at the city.
Hello, good evening. My name is Maria B. Rodriguez. I'm a research and analysis intern at Southern California Association of Governments, SCAG, the regional planning agency. So some of the things that I've been working on, the geodatabase setup, which is a compromised folder of everything GIS related, which is Geographic Information System software. So it helps us do analysis and evaluate several features that the city may have that we might want to look at more closely in order to make better decisions about where, to allocate funds or to say something's needed, For example, this is a radius map that I made showing just addresses in vicinity. So if we need to mail something out to that, or if a planning commissioner needs to recuse themselves from a certain project that's in conflict with the resident, then, that's an example. The other example, this is bad quality. This is a wall-sized map, so it doesn't look good here. But this was to verify Caltrans highway performance maintenance the roads. So they essentially give us a layer. They say, hey, are these the most current roads that you guys have? We have staff that's very knowledgeable, the public works staff that knows where what roads are private and which ones should belong with the HPMS. So in that, we are able to verify what, data could go out to the public and confirm that it's going to be, federal public for use data, and you don't want alleyways and people's, public roads on there, private roads. So in essence, when we deliver this over to Baldwin Park with all the materials, hopefully they can maintain it. They can also use it for the future and keep an update and ultimately get a community view GIS on the website where residents, the public, as well as staff can utilize and make it easier for a lot of those simple questions that are at the counter and things like that. So does anyone have any questions?
No, I really think this is great. I mean, it's something that obviously will modernize everything and educate the community, and of course for individuals wanting to just scroll through this and find out the particular events with reference to the SCAG. So thank you for doing this presentation. Anyone else have? Yes, Councilmember.
I just want to thank you
Yes.
because it's one of the features that I believe that we belong as a city to your organization. And sometimes we hire consultants that are basically overlapping and doing the same thing. So this sort of saves the city some expense because you're reaching out and basically doing what you're right there on the ground floor to do. So thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Thank both of you. Yes, go ahead.
Next month, in February, we're going to invite staff to SCAG to give their account and also to maybe ask for more resources.
Oh, wow. All right.
So,
Well, thank you very much. Appreciate that. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. The next one that we have is the presentation by Kaiser Permanente with an update on the construction of the parking garage expansion. We have Kaiser?
Honorable Mayor, I'd like to
Yes.
introduce to you Skylar Deniston, Senior Land Use Manager with Kaiser, and he's going to give you a brief update on the parking structure expansion.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Thank you. Good evening. Let's have, all right. Oh, you got it?
I'm not going to touch it anymore because I'm hurting myself.
Okay. You got it? David, can you help him, please? Oh, he's on it. Okay. Oh, he's doing it from right, sitting down. All right, David. Hey.
Good evening, council members, Mayor Lozano.
Yes, sir. Again,
My name is Skylar Dennison with Kaiser Permanente. I'm their Senior Land Use Manager. Essentially, that's a fancy way of just saying that I help them through the entitlement process. So first of all, I want to thank staff for their excellent job on this project. As you know, this went to Planning Commission back in July and received our approvals, design review, and our CEP modification. And tonight we request your approval of the parcel map. So briefly, what you have here is the existing campus. The existing campus, roughly about 380,000 square feet of inpatient and outpatient hospital. And what we are proposing, well, what I should say is anyone that's been there recently know that parking is a challenge at
big
the
time.
site, especially Tuesday mornings. I've experienced it myself, so I feel your pain. So what we're doing here, as you see highlighted in blue, is actually we're going to expand the parking structure. We're going to expand that towards Bass Avenue, and we're going to be pushing it out towards Leo Rito as well.
Could you highlight it so we could see the general public?
It is highlighted in blue, so if we go back there, I mean, I'm sorry, I wish I used a better color on that. There you go, right there.
Okay, here we go. Yeah. Well, I'm saying for the public.
Right. So what we're going to be doing is adding roughly about 830 parking
Wow.
spaces to that. But with the net construction and everything, so the net gain is roughly going to be about 550 spaces. So we're very excited. After the parking structure is completed, we'll be adding a new medical office building to the site. So I want to relax your fears a little bit. So part of the master plan strategy that we have is that we're actually moving a lot of outpatient services. These are the services that there's no overnight care. You have your appointment to get whatever checked. We're going to be moving a lot of that to the periphery of the campus, outside of the hospital, so we can really focus on inpatient care. We're also we're building some new facilities. This MOB, we hope, will be coming online sometime in 2019, in addition to about 90,000 square feet we're doing in the city of Irwindale. And we also have some other projects that are coming up in the future in Covina, and I believe, Covina. That's where we're at right now. So what you have here is the existing parcel. What you have highlighted in red is the campus, roughly about 28 acres. What you see here in yellow is that the most western portion of the parking structure expansion is going towards Leo Rita Street. And we have what we want to do is consolidate all of the parcels that make up the campus. You can see that we have a number of parcels here, lots, and some here. So part of this application was to process a parcel map to clean up the entirety of the site. And that's where the parking structure will be located when all is said and done. And this is what we're proposing. This is a rendering that you see from Baldwin Park Boulevard and Bess Avenue. So what was great is before we started this process, about a week before we submitted our formal application, I want to say like the second week of December of 2015, we did we publicly noticed everyone within a 500-foot radius of the campus. And we had a lot of residents show up to the campus to actually look at these renderings and what we're proposing. It was very well received. They recognize it's parking challenged. People were parking into the residents, not just members, but it was staff. Everyone was guilty of it. This guy included. It just happens. So what we're doing is we're pushing this out, and it was actually pretty well received because we can still do some additional landscaping. And on top of it, when we do the medical office building, you're not going to have that surface parking there anymore. You're going to have a building there, so you're not going to be looking at parking. So we think it's a very attractive addition. And here is a rendering from Bess Avenue and Leo Rita Street. So you can see the staircase, the exterior staircase is very similar to the parking structure that you have here. And we're keeping in line with the actual parking design that's on campus, but of course, painting and, updating. So roughly, the parking structure will be the first phase of development. I say it's 2 phases, but we're going to probably be able to tackle the parking structure in 1 phase. We'll probably wrap it up in about 11 months, but we think we can improve on that.
Once that's completed, we'll be doing the medical office building, starting construction in 2018, hopefully with a certificate of occupancy in 2019. We do have some temporary construction parking located in the City of Industry. Roughly, it's about close to 400 spaces. We'll be shuttling our employees. We won't be parking members off-site, so we'll be our employees that we'll be shuttling to and from after their shifts. Thank you for your time on this, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you have.
All right, thank you very much. Councilman Cruz Baca.
I just want to thank you very much, and I'm glad that you mentioned throughout the years the parking has been horrendous. And so I get I'm sure a lot of my fellow council members up here as well about the residents that live in the area. I have asked some of the residents, and they are so happy about this parking structure because they will not have people parking hopefully they won't have anyone parking within their front yards or their front doors or whatever. So thank you so very much. Like you said, it seems like it's very well received by the residents and the community.
Thank you, Councilmember.
All right,
I have a question. Do you mind going back to the actual rendering? You went too far.
Yeah, got it. I got fat fingers.
The other one. Forward?
Oh, forward, this one here.
Okay, I just wanted to see because I know that I took a little tour before, and sometimes when the walls are not covered, they tend to invite graffiti. So I just wanted to make sure: are you guys planning to surround any walls with? Because I see the trees here, but sometimes renderings have trees, and then in actuality they're not there. Can you let me know if that's the way it's going to look with the trees surrounding the facility?
Absolutely. They actually refer to the landscape plans that are actually posted in the back that lots of landscaping is being proposed. We have the same concerns. We don't want to have one of our top facilities here in Southern California covered in graffiti.
Okay, thank you for that. I'll take a look after. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. All right, thank you very much. And Kaiser thrives. All right. Okay, so at this point, I guess we're done in that area. Wow. All right. So at this point, I'd like to open up the public communication. Anyone wishing to speak? Before I go on, real quick, this is announced as required by Government Code Section 54952.3. Members of the City Council are also members of the Board of Directors of the Housing Authority and Finance Authority, which are concurrently convening with the City Council this evening, and each council member is paid an additional stipend of $30 for attending the Housing Authority meeting and $50 for attending the Finance Authority meeting. So at this point, yes, good evening.
Good evening, Ken Woods, and I'm a concerned citizen. Well, it looks like we'll be dealing with Rome again. I usually come up here and expound on what I feel are bad decisions made by the majority of the City Council, which affects the welfare of our citizens. I've been around here since the early 50s. Our home and business moved here in 67, which will be 49 years this November. That's even before the mayor got his hubcap stolen. I've seen what this and other city councils have done to improve our city. So I know you are capable of making good decisions that'll help protect our citizens. But when it comes to dealing with Rome, I feel you need to expand your vocabulary. You need to include the word no. When they want to strap us with inadequate parking, say no. When they want to defer payment of the permits and fees for years and years, say no. When they want to take our land without just compensation, say no. When they want to use the loopholes to keep from paying property taxes, you should definitely say no. Those hundreds of tenants who will be moving into our city will be utilizing the services that property taxes provide. Fire department, police department, on and on. You can't let a few $1,000s in campaign contributions sway your decision to do the right thing for the citizens of Baldwin Park. Well, maybe Councilman Pacheco can. Thank you.
right, thank you. Good evening. All right, moving on with public communication.
Hello, everybody, Baldwin Park residents. You people up here, when you want to represent something, do like Kaiser. They showed you what they're going to improve and where, when, and how come. You people don't show anything. And then you put it up there and you show nothing. The parking structure that for this new building down here, oh, you guys are going to have a lot of problems, which I'm glad, because at least it'll keep you guys busy. You people have to understand that you need to work for us. I'm going to tell you this till the day I die. But you know what? The mayor's looking at me with those evil eyes. We don't have to do anything. We've been asking for answers, questions, all kinds of stuff. None of you have got the guts enough to put it up here so we can see it. We've asked you to not accept Rome. What are you going to do? They built that shanty building that you got back here. What are you going to do? Let them build another one? I know. You sure in the heck are. None of you have the gall enough to stand up and tell us how much money the residents of Baldwin Park are going to be in debt. None of you. None of the members are anywhere up here. And if you will get up and stand and tell us, you'll put it up there and say, boom, it's gone. You guys are a shameful bunch of people up here. You really are. Mrs. Garcia is always telling us, why are you guys so negative? You know why? Because you guys don't work for the city residents. Maybe a couple of you do, but the rest of you don't. I know. He'll sit down and die someday. We won't have to listen to him. But I hope to God you guys have this every meeting until you understand you work for the residents of Baldwin Park. You don't work for yourselves or any individual here. You work for 70-some thousand people. That's who you work for. And I'll keep telling you that every time I get a chance. And your minutes in this piece of paper that you guys claim minutes from financial department and housing department, you guys didn't do nothing but sign a piece of paper and walk out. We paid you $30 or $100 or $50 or whatever it is. There ain't nothing here. All it says, you had a meeting, boom, boom. We paid you and you all walked out. What did you do for this? You didn't do anything.
All right, thank you.
I heard the bell. I'm not deaf.
All right, thank you. At this point, moving on with public communication. Hey, how are you? Good evening.
Honorable Mayor and City Council, good evening. First and foremost, I don't know if you guys are Dodger fans, but we're losing.
Absolutely.
You know we're losing, right?
Yes.
A little disappointed there. But I just wanted to take this time to introduce myself. My name is Valerie Munoz, and I'm the mayor for the city of La Puente. And I'm coming to speak on behalf of your agenda item number 5 and just formally introduce. And first and foremost, thank you for affording the opportunity to hopefully represent the city of Baldwin Park as well as work for the council on the Water Quality Authority Board. Just a little background in regards to myself is been city council for a little over 2 years, and the whole reason for running and working for my community is to be a public servant. And I want to take these attributes and apply them on the Water Quality Authority and serve and work for the city of Baldwin Park as well as the council members and serve accordingly to ensure that we have the applicable funding for the water cleanup. I'm sure all of you are aware that the Water Quality Authority Board was established in 1993 by the state legislator to ensure that our San Gabriel basins are clean due to contamination. And I'm thankful and humble for the opportunity to serve you as a representative. I won't take up much of your time. I know you have another full busy agenda, but thank you again.
All right. Thank you very much, Council Member, City La Puente, Valerie Munoz. Yes. Oh, sorry about that, Mayor. Sorry about that. All righty. All right, congratulations. All right, at this point, we're going to go into the consent calendar. See anyone else wish to speak under public communication? If not at this point, I will now declare it closed. All right, council members, we have consent calendars items 1 through 8. Anyone wishing to pull any item? Wow.
Yes.
Yes, go ahead.
Yes. I'd like to pull item 8 for clarification, please.
All righty. Okay, so is that?
And
go ahead.
Oh, and I would also like to pull item 5 for clarification. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
I would like to pull 6 and 9, please. Thank you.
6 and 9. No, 9 is separate. That's a public hearing.
Sorry.
All right, so just item 6. All right, so at this point, I'd like to move consent calendars with the exception of items 5, 6, and 8. That is my motion.
Second.
Any objections? See none, so move. Item number 5, which is the nomination for the Water Quality Authority, WQA board member representing cities without pumping rights, and Councilmember Cruz Baca.
I would like to please bring this back to the November 2nd council meeting, please, only because I had asked, I had been asked by Margaret Clark if she could come and also give a presentation. And in all fairness to all the candidates, I would like to also see if we could listen to what Margaret has to say. So I would like to bring it back. I know that the deadline, I believe, is November the 18th that we need to make a decision. And I think if we bring it back to November 2nd, we still have time.
Let me just say, I have the utmost respect for Maggie. I've known her for many years, and she served there for many, many years. And I think that it's time for us to elect a new individual that will enlighten and enhance the level of the WQA, as opposed to having someone that's been there for many years and she's had that opportunity. So I'm going to go ahead and make a motion.
Mayor, can I make a comment?
Go ahead.
Just really quickly, this is not about candidates. It's
Okay.
just, lately I've been questioning the way the staff reports are written. And it says right here that the council has selected this nominee. And I just want to be very clear that this is the first time I've seen the agenda item when it came to me. So when it says council has selected this nominee, I always feel like I'm always included, but I did not get any information on this, and I didn't get the bio, which I know that I got right now, a letter. And it's just the process that I continue to question. Like normally, staff will give us the list of nominees. That's been protocol. These are the 2 or 3 or 4 nominees that are running, and then it gives us the opportunity to select a nominee. But the way this is written, it says that the city has selected this nominee, and to be quite frank with you, I didn't know you were running. I haven't spoken to you, and this is the first time, like I said, that I'm seeing it here, and yet it says that the city selected. So I want to know at what point did we select it again? This is not nominee. This is just protocol. Can you explain that to me?
I think I might be able to answer that, and I probably have to admit the wording in the staff report is a little bit misleading. The information from the Water Quality Authority was sent to the city and distributed to the city council requesting nominations.
Yeah, and just to clarify that, because I was the one that made the request to place this on the agenda for consideration originally.
I only received one response from city council, and that was for Mayor Munoz.
Okay, and again, this is not about the nominee, but in previous council meetings, I've expressed that it's usually written, well, it has been lately, but that has not been the case in the past, where the staff report comes from the staff, and it basically allows the council to make the decisions. But now that you're clarifying this, Mayor,
Yes.
I can see that, but once again, I continue to question the way that the report is written. Right here it says that staff recommends and that it's been chosen on behalf of the city of Baldwin Park, and that's why when I don't get a report that says, for example, when you met or some information on it and you say that you recommended, that's when I tend to question it, because that's not protocol. Usually you give us the option to look at the nominees, then we select the nominees. So I just, like I said, I mentioned the last council meeting, and again, Valerie, it's not about you. It's the last council meeting, I had the same concern, that they're always a little misleading, and I need to make sure that I state my concern about how it continues to be misleading. Thank you, Mayor.
All right, thank you. Well, first of all, allow me to take full responsibility, because I don't want to, I'm the CEO, I'm the one that did contact him that I wanted this information on there. did not hear from Maggie Clark, and as I stated earlier, Maggie Clark's been there for years, and I think it's an opportunity for us to select someone, a different generation that can represent the particular changes in demographics of the San Gabriel Valley. But Councilmember Ricardo Pacheco.
I'd second your motion.
All right, but hold on. There's been a second motion, but go ahead.
I do a substitute motion only
Okay.
because I would like to bring it back to November the 2nd. Maggie Clark did reach out to me.
Okay.
And I thought that we had plenty of time for November the 2nd until I saw this on the agenda, and it was too late for me to also put her. In the past, I remember that it was both Maggie and Louis Aguinaga that had come forward to give, to come in and sort of let us know that they were running and so forth, and for us to make the decision. And then later we made the decision. So I'm only saying, that I was approached by Maggie as well, so I just wanted to bring it back. We have plenty of time. I can reach out to her. I can add it to the agenda for November the 2nd, and if we could make a decision. Yes, I am all for bringing in new people. I am all for bringing, but I would like to, in all fairness, to give the candidate, since she reached out to me, a chance.
Okay, I just want to add just one
ahead.
quick thing
Go
too,
ahead.
and it's true. Maggie I had talked to her in the past too, and so it's not that I'm deciding on her. I will want to give her the opportunity, but again, my issue is the protocol. It's always been that the candidates are given to us, and then when they come to us, then we give them that courtesy of making that selection. But when I saw that it said that the city had made a decision, that doesn't sit right with me because I didn't know. I had not talked to Valerie at all. She didn't share with me she was running. And so, next time if it's the mayor that's asking, then Shannon, I would like for you to state it instead of saying that staff did it, because that was my concern. Thank you,
And
Mayor.
as I indicate, I'll take full responsibility. Okay, there's a substitute motion on the floor which supersedes
second it.
the motion. There have been second. Are there any objections?
Object.
Okay, Madam City Clerk, one objection. So at this point, we'll take roll call. All right. So
And so-
the motion is, this vote is to bring this back to allow the other candidate, Maggie Clark, an opportunity to come and speak to the council. So the vote.
Councilmember Baca,
Yes.
Councilmember Rubio,
Yes.
Councilmember Ricardo Pacheco,
No.
Mayor Pro Tem Monica Garcia,
No.
Mayor Manuel Lozano.
No. All right, so at this point, I will go ahead and make a motion. The motion dies. It's 2-3. At this point, I'll make a motion nomination for the Water Quality Authority, WQA board member representing city without pumping rights, and that the candidate is the mayor of the city of La Puente, Valerie Munoz. And that is my motion.
Second.
Any objections? Okay, see no objections?
Yes.
No, Madam, okay, hold on one more. There is an objection by Councilmember Cruz Baca. At this point, we'll have Madam City Clerk take roll call. And this is for the vote. And this is for the vote. This is for the vote. Okay, all right.
Okay.
Yes.
Mayor Manuel Lozano,
Wait a minute. Start over again?
weren't you first?
Okay, yes,
Okay, so Mayor Lozano,
yes.
Council Pacheco,
Yes.
Council Baca,
No.
Council Rubio,
I will abstain on the basis of protocol. Thank you, Mayor.
Mayor Monica Garcia.
Yes.
Okay, so the motion passes 3-2. Congratulations. All right, thank you.
Mayor.
Yes, Councilmember Vice Mayor Monica Garcia.
I will acknowledge that was a poor choice of words, because clearly the decision is being made here tonight. And so I know that, this might be a new process for some of our staff, and just that we are very careful on, how we bring forth this type of information, because it could have just been a simple error, but it has a potential to, blow up. And I would just say, just be very careful about these staff reports and how they're presented to us.
But Mayor,
Go ahead.
I also have to say that we ourselves have to be conscious of how we present it. When I present something to Shannon or to Robert, but it's mostly to Shannon when I want to put something on the agenda, I am very specific, and he does ask me 2 or 3 times, is this what you mean? And then I'll say, no, this is what I mean. Then he'll come back and say, now, does this look okay? Is this what you're trying to express that you would like to put on the agenda? And then I say, yes or no. So I think that it's our responsibility to make sure, and not to put someone like Valerie, I sit on a couple of committees with her, and this is, to me, it's very uncomfortable that she's put in this position where, we have not taken care of our business because we worded something wrong, and it was to our impression that the decision had already been made when I was coming here thinking, well, let's listen to someone else. It wasn't like I had made a decision or anything. I just thought, let's make the process fair. And that's all. And I think it's very unfair to put the candidate that's out there under scrutiny because we didn't get it right. So in the future, I think we need to be cognizant of how we word things. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
And
Yes.
also,
Yes.
I mean, ultimately, this is a staff report, and so it does fall with the staff. And so I would say, staff, when you're preparing these reports, just make sure that everything is accurate, and just be very careful about what is presented here to the council. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Mayor, I'm sorry,
Yes,
but I do have to say, and I'll repeat it again, I have many times, this time I did not put anything on the agenda, but I do have to say that Shannon is very, very aware of something that might not be worded the right way. It falls on our shoulders. We're the bosses. We need to make sure that we word things correctly so that it's understood. Thank you.
All right,
Mayor,
thank you.
I just want for the
Yes, go
record,
ahead.
and again, because it's not about the candidates. Last council meeting, I pointed out yet again another staff report that said council has selected, when again, I didn't have knowledge of that one item. So just for the record, that again, this is why this item was not necessarily.
Which one did you refer? Which one are you referring to?
It was one of the contracts from last time that it said that council had decided, and I had to point out that, I had no knowledge. So, but again, I don't want to discuss the other company that we discussed last time. But once again, please know it's not about the candidates. It's just I really want protocol to be followed. Thank you, Mayor.
I'm kind of curious. Bring the one that Councilman Susan Rubio is referring to. I want to see that. The one that you referred that last time, that was an error.
It was
we
the
can do it after.
A&E last time. There was a whole discussion on it.
Okay.
And Mr. Mayor, point of clarification, the vote was 3-1 and with one abstention.
One abstention. That's correct. Thank you. All right. Okay, so moving along. At this point, we're going to go to item number 6, approval, quick claim deeding of a portion of the Francisquito Avenue and Garvey Avenue, and adopt resolution number 2016-155, ordering the vacation of said portion with reservations for public utilities and approval of final parcel map of 1426 LA Fitness. At this point, Councilmember Susan Rubio.
Thank you, Mayor. This is just for clarification purposes as well as public knowledge. And I know this is about a quick claim deed, just to be very clear and for our residents to know, this land was never ours because it seems the way when you read the staff, it appears that we're giving the land away. And you've heard that concern earlier on with one of our residents. And this land was never our land to give. This belonged to Caltrans. And because it needed to be deeded over to LA Fitness, they gave it to us so we can then transfer it to LA Fitness, but it was never our land to start off with. So just for clarification, it wasn't our land. Secondly, just since the item is on the agenda, Shannon, can you clarify if you were able to reach out to them about what we talked about, the track around the LA Fitness?
Yes, staff actually reached out to the developer. I talked to Amy and Sam, and they talked to their staff. The developer and staff were not aware of an idea of a track around the property. I mean, the developer did say it was a good idea, but at this point, they thought it was probably too late to put into the project.
Well, that kind of just doesn't sit well with us because I mean, we had a big discussion about it. In fact, it was going to be open to the residents for them to be able to walk around. And Mayor, I don't know if you remember this conversation. We talked about, some of the schools sometimes are closed, and that would be great for our seniors to be able to walk around. So I'm not sure how we can fix that, but I would like to go back to some original records when we started the negotiation because that was something that was important to us. And we talked about the surrounding, the perimeter, having trees around so then our seniors can use it as well as our young individuals. So can we sort of research that and see we can't do anything about it, but maybe we can talk about the inside of the parking lot somehow. So please bring that back to us. Thank you.
Mayor?
Yes, Councilmember Vice Mayor Monica Garcia.
I passed by the parcel yesterday, and this is a very high traffic area, and it's going to even be a challenge for cars coming out of the parking lot to wrap around, get on the freeway, or I don't even think you'll be able to make a left turn. So I just don't think it's a very good combination of cars on the parking lot, cars going down Garvey, the freeway on ramp and off ramp, and then to have pedestrians in that area. I think that is probably better for the high schools that have the tracks and their beautiful facilities. But I wouldn't want to hold this project up because of a track that it doesn't lend itself, at that site. I think that it's going to be high vehicular traffic, and it's going to be, it won't be a good use. It won't be a good combination for pedestrians anyway.
And I understand your concern, but when someone brings a project to us and we're voting on it, and that is the expectation now, I agree with what you're saying right now, but we're saying it right now. When we voted on this item, that conversation was had, and when we vote on something, we vote on it based on what it's presented to us. So people don't get to change their minds. Now, again, I'm not saying they have, because that's why I'm asking you to look into it. But yes, I understand what you're saying, but when we voted on it, that was something that motivated me to vote for it. And now it's taken away because they felt that it wasn't the best choice. That's not the way it works. If they present something, I would expect that they deliver. But again, I just want some information, Shannon. Thank you.
And Mayor, was this in the site plan itself? Was this part of the design site plan?
I don't recall the actual I guess we could get it because I just don't recall that part.
Yeah, I just want information, and I hope that I can get it. Thank you, Shannon.
There's a difference between a conversation and then an actual site plan. And I don't recall the track being part of this, but I feel like we need to move forward. This is a great project. It's going to bring jobs, and the company is moving forward quickly. It's also looking at bringing commercial uses to that site. This is a project that has been years in the making. Our residents are anticipating it. And so I don't want to hold it up for a track that, in my mind, is not a compatible use for the site. So I'll move to approve this.
Mayor, can I ask something real quickly?
Okay, there's a motion second, but go ahead.
But just to be clear, I'm not trying to stop the project. And I know that you said that you don't remember the conversation, but perhaps you don't remember that you recused yourself because you owned stock in this land. And so I don't think you were there for the conversation. But again, I just want information. I'm not saying I want this stopped. I just want someone to bring me information. That's all. Thank you, Mayor.
Mayor?
Yes, Councilman.
I know that there's a motion in a second, but I would like to also, because that was going to be my comment, at one time, and I don't know if she still does, Mayor Pro Tem Garcia had vested interest in that property because of Morello Maddox. And I would like to know if she can still vote on that, being that she has declared that she still owns stock in Morello Maddox, so she has vested interest.
Right.
So I'm very uncomfortable about her voting for this project.
Mayor,
thank you, Councilman.
Let me speak to that, and I'm very impressed that you remember my employer's name from 8 years ago. I'm sure. Especially when you use that information for your own reasons. As far as stock, yes, I worked for Morello Maddox Properties. They are the former owner of this site, and that's why I know how long LA Fitness has been proposing this project. It dates back to 2007, 2008. Now, in 2012, the Morello Maddox sold this property to Evoke Properties. And at that time, I did own stock. And I sold that stock, I would say, about 3 years ago. It's in my Form 700. I've been very transparent. And yes, I did recuse myself because I did not feel comfortable at that time voting on a project. I had recently sold my stock. Now, I've gone through the cooling off period, and there should not be any conflict. Do you see any conflict with this, attorney? I think at the time that I consulted with you, you didn't feel that there was a conflict, but just to be, err on the side of caution, I went ahead and I recused myself. But that has been more than a year ago.
That's correct. And if you've sold the stock and it was several years ago, I wouldn't see that there would be a conflict today.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So with that, I will make a motion to move this project forward and free and clear of any conflict of interest. And so that is my motion.
Okay, there's a motion by Vice Mayor Monica Garcia, and it was seconded by Councilmember Ricardo Pacheco.
Second.
Are there any objections? Yes. Okay, Madam City Clerk, one objection. Councilmember Cruz Baca. We're going to
Mayor
go
Pro
and take roll
Tem
call.
Monica Garcia.
Yes.
Let's move the project forward.
Councilmember Ricardo Pacheco.
Yes.
Councilmember Cruz Baca.
No.
Councilmember Susan Rubio.
No, but I really want to state for the record that I just wanted information from our CEO. I wasn't going to stop this. I just wanted information, and it really doesn't sit well that just asking my CEO to go back and bring me some records caused this dilemma. So I'm going to have to say no.
Mayor Manuel Lozano.
Yes. Okay, the motion passes 3-2. And the information will be ascertained by the CEO for Councilmember Susan Rubio. All right, at this point, we're going to go to item number 8, which is the approval of the purchase of 2 sedan vehicles for Building Division of Community Development Department. That's Councilmember Cruz Baca.
I have a question because here we go. It says that the vehicles have already been purchased, and that council may direct staff to return the vehicles and seek new prices. This action will delay the delivery of the vehicles, which I understand. I would like to know when the vehicles were purchased, and it says that it'll be used for community development. Where am I? For the building division, of the Community Development Department, and I want to see those 2 vehicles. What are we doing? When were they purchased? I've got several questions. When were they purchased? Number 1. Number 2, what happened to the old vehicles we had? Were they traded in, or will they be sold? And why do we need 2 vehicles? Thank you.
Okay, so good evening, Mayor and council members. The vehicles were purchased recently, about 2 weeks ago, and at the time, it was believed by staff, and it was reviewed that because it was already programmed in the budget, and we followed the National Joint Powers Alliance for pricing, we went ahead and purchased this. But then it was pointed out to us that the purchase would be over the $25,000 that the CEO can sign off on. That's why we brought it back. But the vehicles have been purchased. The old vehicles, we are still determining what we're going to do with them, but we're probably going to try to do some repairs and put them use them in the future. I believe Parks and Recs will be getting one of them, I think. Of the old vehicles. Yeah.
And if I could add, yes, these are AQMD grant monies approved in the budget. And I know Public Works and Finance had some discussions, and each vehicle was below the $24,999 authority to not go to council. But when I saw that they were both purchased from the same dealer, I just felt to be transparent that we should bring it before the city council so they're aware of the purchase. And Sam, did you answer on who will be the 2 building inspectors will be driving these?
Yeah, it would be our 2 building inspectors, correct.
It also told me about the old. I make a motion for it to pass.
All right, I'll second. Any objections? See none, so move. All right, at this point, we're going to go into the public hearing, which is the credit and debit card payment system. Wow, this is great. Who's handling this? Rose Tramp. Well, thank you very much. All right, here we go. Let's get her mic on. Yeah, yes. Tunchi, just give us just a real quick summary, and then I'll go ahead and open up the public hearing.
Yes, Honorable Mayor and City Council. In the past, there are many citizens and customers has been asking city for the credit card and debit card payment system. So the finance staff has done some research, and we have talked to a couple credit card companies, and then finally we came up with 3 companies. We have put the comparison here, and we also researched with the state law that they allow the city and county government to impose and pass the fee to the consumer. And we also have the bank here, and from the Bank of West, in the local bank representative, George over there, in case you have more questions.
Oh, George is here. Right on.
And they are the company who provide the lowest cost to the consumer and the customer.
Alrighty. That's it?
Do you have more questions?
No,
for
that's
me?
fine. I'm going to go ahead and open up the. We'll have the council members comment after. I'm going to go ahead and open up the.
I can
public,
answer more questions.
Yeah, let me open up the public hearing first. So, anyone wishing to speak in favor of the particular subject at hand, you could come up here. Okay, and anyone that's opposing, if you're opposing, this is the time to do so. No one.
Guess what? Woods and Sons joined the 21st century. Monday, we got our machine to
Awesome.
collect through credit cards and debit cards.
Great.
We pay $6.50 a month and 25 cents per transaction. Beat that.
There you go. All right, thank you, Mr. Wood. Good example. Anyone else wishing to speak in favor? If not, I will now declare the public hearing closed. I'm going to have council members have any questions?
Yeah, now
Yes,
that was
Councilman.
brought up, what are the fees that we're going to be paying per transaction?
The fee will be currently the Bank of West and the Avalon, the credit card company, will give us a fixed fee and 9 cents per transaction. Comparing to other two companies, they will charge the consumer based on the percentage of the amount of the payment. And then also there is interchange fees that will put it to each transaction. And I believe the representative can explain that further.
You need one. Let's have George or who's the other representative? Come on up here.
Josh, isn't it?
Is it Josh?
Yes, it's Josh.
Thomas.
Mr. Thomas,
West.
sir.
Honorable
Bank
Mayor,
of the West.
Council. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Oh, I thought it was. Okay.
So I'm with Alabon. We have a
Let's speak into the mic, sir.
My name's Thomas. I'm with Alabon, who is the processing acquirer with Bank of the West. Bank of the West, of course, as you know, is across the street, your local bank. And Alabon, being a direct processing acquirer, is able to offer the 9 cents per transaction as opposed to a rate based on the amount of the transaction. So some of the amounts that you could see could be anywhere from $1,000 to $5,000, where with us, it's 9 cents per transaction flat. Did I answer your question? I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Excellent. All right. Anyone else have any other questions?
No question, but I have a comment.
Go ahead.
They
That's fine.
can sit down. It's not
Fine.
for them.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. No, this is an item that I was going to pull earlier accidentally because, believe it or not, I mean, I'm sure you guys get concerns, but I get that asked all the time. Can we pay? Can we pay with credit card? So I just wanted to suggest that we put it in the next now, because all our residents receive it. They need to know that now we have that option, because for so many years I said no, and so they're not even thinking it's possible. So let's see how we can advertise it on the website and any possible other advertisement tool that we have. Thank you, Mayor.
All right. Thank you, Councilman Ricardo Pacheco.
I just want to thank our staff, our director, Tam Rose, for continuing to look for ways to improve service to our residents, to our community. So I want to thank you guys for putting this together and doing that. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Mayor,
Yes, Councilmember Cruz
yes,
Baca.
I'd also, because like Councilmember Rubio said, there's been so many times when people have said, I wish I would have been able to pay with a credit card. And this way we'll be able to collect more fees as well. There's a lot of people that would rather put it on their credit card because they just don't have the cash. And so this will make it more available to them to be able to catch up with fees or whatever they need to do. So
Yes.
thank you very much for working on that.
Yes, thank you.
All right.
Thank
So
you
at this
for
point,
all the
like,
support.
thank you very much. We need a motion on this.
Make a motion that we pass the credit.
Councilmember
I hadn't even
Cruz-Baca.
finished yet. I make a motion that we pass the credit and debit card payment system that staff recommended.
There's a motion by Councilmember Cruz-Baca, second by Councilmember Ricardo Pacheco. Any objections? See none, so moved. Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen. All right, this point we're going to go over to, I believe this is going to be pulled, am I correct? Number 10 has been pulled? Okay,
But I
that's
do
fine.
have a
Yes,
a
absolutely.
concerning question,
Absolutely.
Mayor,
Absolutely.
in regards to the item for Ames Consultants. Yesterday, the Ames, which is Tony and Jose, had a meeting with some of the business association members. They met, and these are my concerns because I got volumes of calls yesterday from some of the people that attended the meeting.
Okay.
Let me read my notes here because it's easier for me to do it. Basically, what they were saying was that their response for the downtown park space, because they had been asked about park space by one of the business owners, and they also explained how we're park poor here, and see what they were coming up with any of the plans to think about maybe pocket parks or parks for our residents. And it said that the downtown park space was outside of their scope of work, and that space and two spaces next to Royal Coaches were done deals because contracts had already been signed to build residential projects on all three areas, which included the Caltrans property, the property that's across the street by the red brick building, and also the area here, which is considered or was going to be considered as a civic plaza. This concerns me, and these are some of the calls that I was getting. Why would they tell the business association that these contracts had already been signed and that the building would start? So that concerns me. I mean, they also mentioned about some of the facades and some of the downtown specific plans that had already been discussed for the last 2 years. So this concerns me. I will be sending a copy to Shannon of my notes of what my conversations were, but I'm sure that you can speak to some of the people that were there as well, Robert, at the meeting, which consisted of Tracy from Wells Fargo, CC Lee from the Buyback Store, Mark Sear from the Discount Glass, Laura Santos representing Royal Coaches. So if you wish to ask them, this is what I got, the gist of what I got from all four of them for this meeting that they had yesterday. And they did specify, because I was very specific to see how long they had been there. They said that Jose left after about half an hour of the meeting, and Tony stayed the whole hour of the meeting. So the reason I'm bringing this up is because there have been a lot of questions that Councilmember Rubio and myself have brought up in regards to their invoices. We've seen invoices where they invoiced for 6 hours for meeting with Councilmember Pacheco and Mayor Pro Tem Garcia, and 3 hours with you, Mayor Lozano, 3 hours with other businesses and so forth. So this concerns me that they're not only are they meeting with the association, but also that they are alleging, or that they are practically stating facts that these contracts have been signed and that we're ready to move forward with some of this building. And it concerns me of what exactly are they saying at some of these meetings. So if we could look into that, I really would like to see that. Thank you.
Mayor, and I would like to add to that. I mean, it's no secret that Councilmember Bach and I have been fighting hard for that park and open space, and the fact that they're taking it off the table and they're not even considering it, from what I heard too from other businesses, is that they said that that's not an item that we're going to discuss, that it was off the table because the contracts were signed. And if we're paying them that much money and they're not, first of all, alleging, because that's not true. Secondly, if they're not even willing to have a conversation about parks and open space, that goes against everything I believe. If they're going to get paid, they need to look at the whole picture. They don't get to decide on their own what's convenient for them or whoever they're representing. So I really take offense to that. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Yes, Councilmember Ricardo Pacheco.
I would just like to add that this group has done a lot of good work, I think, within our community, looking at a lot of different ways to bring in economic development. One of the ways is that they opened up a conversation by talking with the county to be able to work with the county and do joint projects together. It's something that we've never looked at. Also bringing Wi-Fi and a lot of other attributes that I thought were important. Now, for them, they clarified and were asked about the parks, and they were saying that it's not a part of their contract. It probably was not a part of their scope to do look at parks and looking at that point. I mean, we'd have to have the city manager look at their contract and see if that was a part of it, but I don't think looking at parks was something that they were assigned to do. If they spent, you were saying, also they looked at parks, there was not, you were saying it's not a part of their scope, but I also think that they were looking at the overall downtown and a lot of things that they could do to enhance downtown. One of the areas that Councilman Cruzbach, you were complaining about was that they were taking a lot of time. So for one of the consultants to spend a half hour and the other 1 hour was, pretty, I mean, they're watching their time and to describe their meeting, the 1 hour I think was pretty effective. Again, yes, I did talk to the consultants where they invoiced it, and we discussed, there was a meeting that we had with the county. It was myself and other county members there. I think Councilwoman Monica Garcia was there, and we had talked about doing joint projects with the county, and they were doing business to do that. So that's what they were hired to do to work and encourage to bring businesses into the county. So that's what I think. It was a legitimate business. So, but nonetheless, I guess they're off the agenda, and moving. I don't know if it'll be brought back, but that's my answer to my response to your response.
Okay, Mayor. Oh, go ahead.
Yes. Oh, man. Okay, sorry about that. Go ahead.
I'm not disputing their work. What I have disputed in the past, and I have reiterated this I don't know how many times, is their billing process. The reason I brought up the fact that one of them was there for half an hour and one of them is for an hour, because I would like to see when they invoice how many hours they're actually going to bill for. When I did meet with Tony and Jose, they told me that the reason they billed 3 hours or 6 hours is because that includes preparation, and that also includes meeting whomever it is and driving to and from the location of where they're going. I am not questioning what they're doing, even though I do feel at times that our staff is doing the work and they're just going around asking questions and gathering information that way. I am not doubting that they're meeting with the Supervisor Solis's office, because I know that they have. But then so have I, and so has Councilmember Rubio, so has Councilmember Pacheco met with them. So my question is, why are they alleging that these contracts, right now, this is my issue, putting away their invoices, which they never answered me, why they met with Councilmember Pacheco and Mayor Pro Tem Garcia for 6 hours. They never answered that when I met with them. They never gave me an answer. But my question right now is, why are they alleging that these contracts have been signed and that development is going forward? That's my concern, is before it even comes to planning or even to the council. So that's what I want to clarify.
Mayor?
Yes, Councilman
I think you'll have to ask them what they meant by that, but I think those projects are in the E&A stage, so they may have been referring to the fact that the project was moving within that process. They may have stated it wrong, but I'm not sure that each of those consultants are really up to date on what the status is of a particular project. So they may have not stated it correctly, and maybe our city manager could look at that and kind of clarify that to the public.
Mayor, I'm sorry. I'm not hypothesizing anything that they're doing, because they have not answered questions. I am asking the questions as a council member, and I think that I have the right to know. Why were they alleging? I am asking either our city attorney or staff to ask them, why did they make these comments during a meeting with the Baldwin Park Business Association? That's all I want to know. Here we go again, what we have been arguing for the last 3 months. I just want answers. That's all.
Yeah.
All right, yes, Councilman Ricardo Pacheco.
I don't know why, you're being given a response. I mean, you're welcome to call them and ask them, or staff can ask them. But it's not such a big issue as you're trying to make it out to be. They probably overstated or not stated correctly, but by all means, if you want a full-on investigation and have our city attorney spend his time and waste dollars on that, we can do that. Or our city manager can call, or you can simply call yourself for free and ask him.
All right, you guys, let's
Mayor, I
go
have
ahead,
a concern
Councilmember.
too.
Yes.
Well, he just said that we need to ask him. I don't think people have been hearing the past 4 months, Councilmember Cruz-Baca and I, asking the questions over and over again. We have asked, and we have been not given, that information hasn't been given to us. And I'm going to say what I said with the last consultant. We asked them the question, and Councilmember Ricardo wants to answer all the time. They're getting paid $172 an hour. So I think that they should be able to answer their own questions, number one. Number two, you just said that they misstated or they're not up to date. If they don't know something, that they shouldn't say it. They shouldn't make statements that they're not 100% sure, because that sends the wrong message to our business owners. There's a lot of them that are concerned because a lot of them are affected by the developments, and now we're getting the phone calls where they're worried that these developments are going up and we haven't voted on them and they haven't been approved, and yet they're stating that this is a done deal and that the contracts have been signed. So we have asked and we haven't been given the answers. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. We're going to go ahead and move on.
Mayor.
Yes, Vice Mayor Monica Garcia. Let's move on after that, please.
Thank you. At the next meeting, I'd like an item agendized related to the Los Angeles Countywide Comprehensive Park and Recreation Needs Assessment. I'd like us to look at this report and to really understand where this study is calling out for park space in our community. And I'd also, in coupling this with the application that was submitted by the Department of Recreation and Community Services, to see what the status is of the application for joint use. So I'd like that item added.
All right. Okay, so at this point, we're going to go ahead and, all right, so we noted that. At this point, council members have anything they wish to say
Is
before?
Manny Carrillo here? Is he?
No, he's out.
I
He's
couldn't
on
see him. Okay,
vacation.
thank you.
All right, at this point, unless anyone has any question, I'm going to move for adjournment of the city council. Any
Mayor,
objections?
can we just take a time to invite the residents to the tree planting event?
Yeah, that's
going
right.
to happen. Who has
Yes.
the exact times? I don't want to.
It's right here. You have it.
We're having a
Saturday, 9
citywide tree planting
That's it.
event where everyone's invited to come and help us. We want to plant trees on the medians and around the city. So we want the community to be part of this. We'd love to have anybody that wants to help come and join us. Would you like to
Sam?
give us information, Sam?
Sam,
The tree planting event is at Morgan Park at 9 a.m.
And how many trees are you going to plant in total?
Well, this first run is sort of like a kickoff to a bigger program, but we're going to be planting about 40 trees, 20 at Morgan Park and another 20 at Barnes Park. The total amount of trees that the program is going to be paying for is 105, and that's going to go in various parks citywide.
Thank you. Can I ask, since we still have a few days before Saturday, if we can advertise it on the marquee just to invite people to come over to the park? It's right there in Morgan Park. Thank you, Mayor.
I won't be able to attend until sometime after 12 because I'm on an online class every Saturday till December 9th. Yes, Councilmember.
Mayor, I'd also like to announce that our police department is going to be having a trick or treat
that's right.
on October the 27th. It starts at 6 o'clock, and apparently the different departments are going to be decorating booths and giving out the candy for all the kids. They've been advertising, and I think we've got a flyer in our packet, and
we do.
it's going to be really nice. That's October the 27th at 6 o'clock in the evening, and so bring your kids and your toothbrushes.
But just to clarify, it's at the police station,
Oh, here at the
correct? Just so
poli-
they
that's
know,
right.
right in front of City Hall.
All
Thank
right,
you.
so I'm going to
Before we adjourn, we are celebrating Baldwin Park's 60th anniversary with the parade, and we're bringing it back. So the carnival hours November 3rd through 6th, Morgan Park, and the actual parade will be November 5th at 9:45. So want to bring out our community for that awaited event, long-awaited event. Thank you.
Yeah, real quick, because we're going to be acknowledging two individuals, of course, Rosalinda Sally Go-Ong, Baldwin Park Unified School District with the Baldwin Park Adult and Community Education 2015 Teacher of the Year. Long overdue. We should have given that before for her, but she's an awesome person. 30-year anniversary at the her 30th, excuse me, so we're going to recognize her. Also, Jose, can recall, is the owners of Garduños. They're celebrating their 30th anniversary, and if you have not been there to eat their food, it's incredible. Frequent the place for the cuisine place that they provide there, and both of them will be part of the 30th anniversary parade. Before I forget,
And Mayor, the
Yes.
parade, I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but
Okay.
along with the parade, because I spoke to
Flags.
Terry Muse today, on behalf of the Baldwin Park Business Association, they will have cars, the old classic Model A's or whatever. I
Awesome.
don't know what you call them, but that, they will have those with, also honoring the businesses that have been here in Baldwin Park the longest.
Awesome.
As well.
Thank
Yes.
you. And those two individuals I just mentioned will be presenting them with plaques there at the amphitheater. Also, the Veterans Day ceremony, the 25th anniversary, is November the 11th, 2016 at 1 p.m. So at this point, I'm going to move for adjournment of the city council
Mayor,
meeting. Yes.
For the veterans, I also want to say that we are going to be honoring one of our longtime residents, and she turned 100 about a month ago. Lillian Mower, she
My
will
God.
be honored. She was a veteran during World War II,
Yes.
so she will be honored as well, and also on behalf of the Women's Club, because she's been a member of the Women's Club for over 40 years.
And she's been at our veterans on many occasions. Wow, 100. I didn't realize that. Thank you for sharing that.
Mayor.
Yes.
Unfortunately, it's a beautiful event, and I will miss it because I have a cousin getting married in Texas.
Oh, wow.
So that weekend. So just wanted to let you all know.
Well, thank you very much, because I'm certain they'll have Veterans Day there in Texas as well. All right.
Yes, and I will be spending the time with my grandfather who served in World War II. So absolutely.
That is right. All right, so at this point, I'm going to move for adjournment of the city council. That's my motion.
Second.
Any objections? See none, so move. All right, two real quick items. First, on the Finance Authority. At this point, I'd like to consent calendars items 1. That's my motion.
Second.
Any objections? See none, so move. At this point, I'd like to move for adjournment of the Finance Authority.
Second.
Any objections? See none, so move. At this point, I'd like to open up the Housing Authority, and we have the consent calendar. Item 1, I'll move for a motion.
Second.
Any objections? See none, so move. At this point, I will move for adjournment.
Second.
Any objections? See so not. If not, at this point, Viva Baldwin Park. Good evening, everyone. Buenas noches.